Hey guys, welcome to D&D with Filthy and Friends. I know Kevin missed that. I'm super excited to do this. This is a one-off that I will be DMing, and there's probably some new faces for some of you, and I'm going to reintroduce everyone for those of you who don't know. So from my top left, which is probably going to be different than on the recording, sorry, is Steve, Joe, and Ribs of the same YouTube and Twitch channels. You probably know him as I play a ton of D&D with him. Super excited to have him here. My bottom left is Sean, who is a long-term friend of mine, subscriber to my channel, moderator in my channel, who I love to play D&D with and don't get to because he works during working hours. So he gets to be here tonight. Super excited about that. My middle of the screen is Joe, who you guys probably, if you watched my channel recently, know Joe. He is just starting streaming, a friend of mine in person here up in Wisconsin, and been showing me around Oshkosh. And then finally, last but not least, Kevin, who I never get to see anymore because he's deep in his PhD in graduate school, who used to play D&D with us, but now spends his time more productively for some fucking unknowable reason. If I figure out how I can guilt you into playing again or get Katie to twist your arm, I will be doing that. Just FYI. So anyways, super excited to be here tonight playing this. I'll read you the little, I just decided I wanted to do this maybe a couple weeks ago and just set this up. I'll read you the little blurb I gave to the players.
Kevin has a question.
I think he needs to go to the bathroom. You'll have to wait.
What was there an introduction for me?
Oh, yeah. I guess I should intro like who you are, right? Who are you, Kevin? How did you get on this Discord call?
My lovely wife didn't help you with that?
Oh, did she?
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh,
of course she did.
Oh, Katie. No. I didn't even look. I didn't think. I thought like I should do that, and then I didn't get around to it.
No, she totally was like, "Oh, you're playing again?"
Oh, she was very gentle with you.
Let me take care of that.
She says, your introduction, Kevin, is this is from his wife. His wife writes Kevin introductions for him every week because I didn't like the fact that he didn't have a channel to go to. But Kevin's introduction is the triathlete in the Sex Olympics.
Oh,
nice. Which is very sweet, but also, what are
very
the
generous?
Yeah, so
Very
swimming,
generous.
running, and archery, or something like that.
Cycling.
Which ones are? Don't tell me. All right. So I'm just gonna briefly read the viewers the blurb I gave you guys, and then we'll get started with this. And I'm sure it'll be sloppy DMing, but this is only my second time, so I hope it's fun. Bear with me. All right. You four are field operatives of the secret organization Helmet, tasked with the national security of the realm of Conwiskin. Due to a failed seduction attempt by your commander and the ensuing political fallout, your team has been sent to Koshosh, a rural mining community in the frozen wastelands of northern Conwiskin, for as long as it takes. You're not to report back until the situation is resolved. When you arrive in Koshosh, you are told riveting tales of lost cows, strange sightings of misshapen creatures, and shepherds gone missing. You're more than willing to dismiss these disappearances as tall tales of bored peasants creative with drink cold and too much time on their hands. After all, herd animals get lost in blizzards or taken by predators, and sons flee the dull life of Koshosh for the glamour of the southern city Chi-town all the time. These are just the facts of life this far beyond the wall. Let's not have people calling me middle of that. Excuse me. This is not during my streaming hours, so my phone isn't muted. I apologize. Just turn that off. However, there's one disturbing development. In time it's taken you to travel here, the town constable, Dan, a reliable officer of the crown for some 20 years, has also gone missing. He was last seen on his way to investigate a report of a strange mound of fresh earth surrounding an ominous hole deep within the nesting caves, a mining area east of town. Our session is going to start with the party having summited the mound, found the hole, and are preparing to enter it. Use protection and always have plan B. This could get rough. Good luck. So here we are with that setup. I'm sure nothing could go wrong. And
so we're just, you didn't give us time for foreplay, really. We're just already at the hole.
Well, that's already happened. We don't want to retcon that. As I said, Sex Olympics. We're on Act 2 here. So, yeah. All right. So you guys are here. So, I wanted to give you a couple more intro things here for this. So, just some clarification on how I want to do skill checks. In general, if you are proficient and I ask you to, if I say, everyone make me a perception roll, probably what I mean is everyone who's proficient in that. I will specify if it's everyone. Additionally, and rather than have you guys ask, can I make a skill check for survival? I'd prefer what you try to do is tell me what you're trying to do, and I will do my best to tell you which skill I would like you to roll, if any, for that, and the modifiers associated with that. What's up, Sean?
How does Jack of all trades?
You get to be part of everything.
Okay,
because you have Jack of all trades.
That's what I would like to hear.
Okay. All right. So we are in front of. So you guys have entered the nesting caves, which are this newly open mining area east of town. You've kind of gone deep into this cave system. You can see the last bit of light far in the distance as you move closer to this, and you've found this mound. And this mound is maybe body height of mound. It looks like a giant anthill almost, with a fairly circular hole in the middle that is about the height and shape of a man, maybe about 6 foot tall, maybe 6 foot by 6 foot, and it is a proper tunnel heading down into the earth. And that's where you guys find yourself. So, what is the plan? Why are you crying, Sean?
Who's in charge of the party?
Sorry.
Well, that was as part of the opening thing. I did mention you had a commander, but the thing about your cell is it's a secret organization, and the commander is not revealed to the other people. So only the commander knows he's the commander.
Do we have like a Cylon as well, but we haven't revealed who that is?
I can't tell you that.
All right. I don't think I would be in charge. For what it's worth.
What's that?
I don't think I would be in charge.
You think it's pretty unlikely that you're the commander?
Pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. But we can't rule it out. So you guys are here in front of this. Are you going to head into this hole? Anything you'd like to do before doing that? Did you guys bring all the equipment you needed for this? Did you took the time to prep what you wanted for spelunking? No. Okay.
My friends, as we go into yet another adventure, I would like the opportunity to update my records about your final wishes should we get seriously injured. Should I bring the angel of death upon you and finish you off? Or would you like me to try to resuscitate?
I personally prefer to live. Could you please maybe strap me to your back and take me home?
So that's another time. This is the 5th time in the row you've selected resuscitate.
Yes, and there will probably be 6th and 7th time.
I'll check again, however, in case you should change your mind about that. And what about you?
So I too am willing to be resuscitated if it is something that will to be damage to me and I am dying. I prefer to live on to fight another day.
And I suppose you're also going to do that?
Yes, well, anything to get your lips on mine, I suppose.
Lovely.
Is there maybe paperwork that I can fill out to maybe just extend wishing to be resuscitated for a long length of time, so maybe you don't have to ask me when I get out of bed tomorrow?
I would like to be resuscitated for 3 or 4 minutes. Maybe with tongue.
And then would you like to be re-killed and resuscitated again?
I have heard that can be quite erotic, yes.
I will remember.
And the hero that is asking the question, I have the ability to hear as well. Are you agreeing to be resuscitated if you take the damage of lethality?
Myself?
Yes, you.
You know, with 4 different accents, I am never going to keep my accent. Fuck y'all.
Well,
all of a sudden, I'm a British Russian immigrant preacher from the South.
Well, point of order. I also would like you guys only to speak in character when you're in character. That makes it much easier to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yes,
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
Which is why I just broke
agree.
character. Which is why I just broke character, because damn it. All of a sudden there I was British for a minute and
I thought it opened very well, and then I thought it fell apart a little bit. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I totally had it in my head right up until everyone else started. And I was like, oh, Yeah, because I'm naturally kind of a chameleon, and so this is going to be rough. All right, so moving on then.
Well, I guess the point of fact is, are you wanting to be healed then as well? Because I do have the ability to, not as proficient as yours, but.
Oh no, I'm not a healer at all.
Oh.
No,
he just means like making out.
I'm a bringer of death.
Okay.
I offer sweet release.
He tried to like a character. He's role playing.
They call that
the
final act in the sex triad.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if you guys, I assume you guys will be heading into the tunnel. Is there other preparations you would like to make before that begins?
Nope.
I guess there's still time to be like, no, we want to go explore the town.
Let's take a left.
Yeah. No, the tracks go down into this tunnel if we're not clear on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some equipment for spelunking. I don't know whatever else brought, but
I've finished doing preparation G. We should probably move on.
Classic preparation H.
All right.
I'm just putting like ropes and stuff in my inventory right now while Filthy's not looking. So
that's fine. I did look at everyone else's inventory, which was nicely filled out ahead of time, so I had a sense of that, except Steve's. Steve's was a blank slate all the way up until when I started streaming today.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
I don't know. Certainly not preparation. All right. What order? So this is, as I said, this is not, you're not able to stand adjacent to each other for this. You're going to be in a line for going in this because you're not going to fit otherwise. So what party order will you guys be taking for this?
I'll take front, unless somebody has a great reason that they'd like to.
I'll take third.
Okay.
I don't do range, so I can probably be.
Okay.
Like I'll be at the back then, I suppose.
I don't know what anyone does.
Oh, do we want to introduce characters and classes? That
no, I don't think so.
All right. So,
did all of you hear that? What was that voice?
What are you guys playing? Steve?
Oh, I am a druid of the Shepherd's Circle. I like to summon wolves, and also I heal on occasion.
Yeah. Sean, what are you playing?
I am playing Oz, who is the Whispers Bard. He is also a changeling, so maybe he looks like this, and maybe he doesn't. You don't know.
What are you playing, Joe?
I'm playing Zyphos. He is a halfling ranger with the French mustache and accent. Okay. My ranger is based on more melee combat. I do have a longbow available, but it's not my main source of damage.
Okay.
Ooh, you should probably relook that.
And
yeah,
Kevin?
well.
Okay.
What are you playing?
Fuck it. Little guy, longbow.
I'm playing a long death monk with a whip proficiency, and I am a dealer of death and
all right,
high mobility.
Dealer of death and deep.
Great for a cave.
Gashes.
Single file cave. Yeah.
Yep.
What did you end up with, Joe, for your preferred terrain?
Oh yeah, I forgot I was gonna do that.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Caves.
Give me just
Caves. Yeah,
caves.
Caves are probably going to be relevant.
Probably.
You're at least going to start in a cave, probably.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
See, I'll jot that down.
Pick desert.
Glaciers.
Yeah, to be fair, every time people make rangers for one-offs, I always feel like it's such a shit deal for them because it's like, pick your favorite enemy. There's a chance you just won't have it. So I gave Joe one of the enemies to put on for his list because it seems really stupid to have a one-off with a ranger and not get your favorite enemy. It's like the dumbest thing ever. Okay, so you guys are going to head down that way. A couple other things as you're starting to explore the entrance of this tunnel and starting to move down. It's very clear this is very rough terrain as you're coming down. This is loose dirt. There are mounds, kind of irregular mounds in the tunnel as you're heading into it, sometimes rocks, sometimes just protrusions. They seem to be fairly evenly spaced, so they're not just on the floor, but also the sides of the tunnel and the top of the tunnel. And it is pitch black. How many of you have dark vision? Anyone not have dark vision?
I do not. But I have torches in my inventory.
Okay. If you wish to see as you're doing this, you guys will probably need to find light sources, at least in this portion, because it is currently pitch black in this tunnel. Okay. And yeah, so rough terrain for all this. You guys gave me the party order. Are you doing any sort of scouting or any sort of, are you all just moving as a group or any of you spaced out at all? I just need to know this layout before we get going.
Yes, I would always like to be vigilant.
Okay. Yeah, I think at least 5 feet in between each other. We could even do the rope tie if we really wanted to, but sometimes that's also more
difficult. Yeah, I'm not inclined to be roped to you, so I'm going to stay 5 or 10 ahead and keep going.
Well, too bad. Maybe another time.
Okay, so you guys are all in a line, about 5 foot apart, moving down this cave. That's the goal.
Being quiet, looking for clues for where Dan went, and seeing if there's any boots or tracks or anything that might indicate that he was dragged down this way or searched on his own down this way.
Okay. That's exactly the type of thing I'm interested in hearing, Kevin. Like, basically, what the hell are you guys doing? I know we're kind of jumping right into it. So tell me what you're doing. So you're looking around for tracks in here and whatnot. Do any of you have survival as abilities?
I do.
Okay. Are you doing this individually or kind of cordoning it off? What do you describe kind of a little bit more of how you're splitting this up and working this area? Are you looking on the outside, inside, all around? What are you doing? Tell me.
I am looking for footprints.
Should you be in front since you're looking for footprints rather than the back?
We are a well-oiled machine. I know
it's
exactly
much easier to find footprints
look like.
Yeah, in the back.
Sure, there's lots of them to find.
Look, I got us here, and we are literally walking down a straight passage with nothing coming off it at the moment. If we get to a turnoff, maybe I'll come to the front and look around. Okay. But I think that everyone in the party knows that I am very delicate, and they want to keep me protected in the back.
Yeah. Well, those of you who are proficient in survival are welcome to make a roll this time. The first roll of the game.
Oh, I need to turn some stuff on.
Okay. That's pretty nice. All right. We might do this a little differently in the future. Okay. But you guys are able to tell from kind of communicating amongst yourselves as you're doing this that this is fairly well trafficked. It's a bit odd. You can't quite make out what is leaving these tracks, but there's clear indications that stuff moves in and out of this tunnel and has been doing so in the not too distant past. You don't see anything that directly seems to be of Dan's, no like shoe prints or something nice like that, none of his equipment around or anything like that. But it's clear this is not only a fresh tunnel, but it's also a fresh tunnel that's fairly active or has been fairly active recently.
So it is a fresh earthwork.
Yes. Yep. It seems to have been added to. Not all the earth is the same age, but maybe there's some expansion going on deeper inside this tunnel because the earth is being brought out and moved out into this area.
Would stone cutting be a relevant trade at this time?
Yeah, if you could roll history right now with some sort of advantage for being a dwarf, I could tell you something about that. We actually have a geologist on the team right now.
This is a +5.
Yeah, if you could roll that, that'd be great. Yeah, these are rocks. All right, so we're gonna move on.
Hold on.
No, that's it. That's all you get from that roll. You know
the
they're
rocks. I just had to communicate that to my party.
That's fair. Okay. And you, Kevin, you said you guys are going to be trying to sneak forward. You're going to try to be quiet about this, you said?
Steve, you're trying to kill me, you bastard. The rocks. Yes, I don't know sneak. Walk over rough terrain carefully and keeping an ear out and listening for motion.
Okay. Are any of you proficient in stealth?
Yes. The guy in front is.
Okay.
Yes, I am as well.
I am also a bard.
Yeah, every time I say that,
just say
Sean,
yes.
right. So everyone who's proficient can roll that at advantage. Anyone who's not, just roll that not at advantage. And if you have any armor impediments to that, for example, if you're wearing medium or heavy armor, you might need to also change that up. But let me know. And we're going to do a group roll for this. So I'll take the results of those combined.
Toggle.
Just to get an idea of what you're moving at.
Advantage. Sorry, I clicked the wrong setting a second ago. That.
Okay.
That is pretty cool.
All right.
I do like this roll.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Okay. So we can get moving then. All right. So as you start to move a little bit deeper into this area, into this tunnel, you see relatively quickly it's heading down, but it's not heading down uniformly. It's not just at a incline. It sometimes moves up again. It's very rough. It tends to, as you get going, it immediately starts forking. There's small chambers off the sides of these as you start going down. The first of these chambers just seems to be, you can't quite make out what the purpose of it might be. It's a small kind of round chamber that doesn't seem to have anything in it or have any point to it. And then as you walk past that chamber, you see it forks once. What do you want to do at the first fork of this?
Do we not get a map?
No.
I have to use my mind?
You have to use your mind.
Everyone, I believe we're going to have to make a decision now. We have to go in Tunnel A, which is obviously the one on the right, because we read from right to left, or Tunnel B, which is the one on the left, for same reason.
My dear friends, I think that we could get seriously lost and discombobulated in here. Beyond making a choice, I think we need to have some sort of plan. I think we run forward as fast as we can and make random choices until we find something that either needs saved or killed.
I would like to point out, if we run directly forward, we will run straight into the wall because the paths are split.
We should remain on the paths while we are running forward.
Oh, yes, that is good advice.
And
so we were being stealthy on our travel so far. Why would we run and not be stealthy anymore?
this is an extremely good point, my little friend.
It is.
Let us then... Has anyone got a coin with them, perhaps? We could flip a coin at this point and every point thereafter?
I don't believe in
to have
money.
Misplaced all of my gold.
I am entirely bereft of funds.
Oh no.
I remember misplacing it the last brothel that I attended.
That is not the same as misplacing.
I do believe it is. I had it in a place and then I put it in a Mrs. place.
Can I sniff the air and see which direction smells freshest?
Sure.
That's what he was trying in the brothel, and it wasn't working at all.
Are you just in your dwarf form right now, or are you in any animal?
I'm just a dwarf.
Okay. You can go ahead and make a survival roll at disadvantage. Yeah. You can probably make out which of your party members is freshest, but not through the tunnel there.
Don't be checking my tunnel for freshness anyhow.
I would say that the lefter path smells better.
If I remember correctly from previous statement, that is path B.
Path B then?
Okay.
That seems something that we can go. It is a direction.
I would like to suggest that we perhaps make a indistinguishable mark somewhere far up on the wall where other creatures are unlikely to notice it, but in our hasty departure from this place with Farmer Constable Dan, we could find our way quickly.
I think that is a wonderful idea. Xiphos, would you please make Mark high up on wall for us to be able to tell which way we came from? As high as you can.
Yeah. So
I grab out a hammer and a python and hand it to whoever is going to make.
okay. Where are you putting the piton?
As none of us got any chalk, I do not think I have any chalk upon me.
I don't remember bringing chalk, actually. That is a good point. I have tinderbox. I can set the place on fire.
We
Oh,
could
look at that.
scratch.
Look
the
at
rock
that. I have
with,
chalk in my backpack.
Oh,
Yes.
All right. So you pull out a little piece of chalk, and what do you do with it?
I am a hill dwarf, so I
Hand it to someone else.
no. I walk over to the wall and I raise my arm as high as I can get it, and I draw an arrow pointing back toward the entrance.
Okay. So that's the first branch. All right. So as you progress a little bit deeper, maybe like, oh, I don't know, probably 3 minutes later, you reach another fork. Same decision. So if you want to streamline the decision-making process, that's fine. If not, this adventure may take longer than I was initially expecting. So if you want to come up with some sort of system, if the chalk is the system you're going to use, that's fine. Just let me know what that system is going to be.
I'm a fan of always going in the same direction the first time, so we'd always take left.
Yeah.
Always left, always chalk.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless we'll do a little sniff check every time, and if there's one
Sure.
time where one of them smells especially foul, maybe that'll change decisions.
My friends, I have to say that this runs the risk of us going in a great big circle and bumping into ourselves before we get out of here.
We are not time traveling, so I do not think that running into ourselves is a problem.
This is another good point.
I am not good enough with magic yet for us to be able to go back in time. I am sorry.
Look, I think we talked about you making decisions outside of combat, didn't we?
Sorry, which one of us?
Oh, I think you know who you are.
Are you talking about me?
No,
Oh,
no, I'm not.
okay. There, that is how you determine.
On you go then.
All right. To the left.
Okay.
I'll
And
go left.
You're just going to be choosing left because this is a very it's kind of ridiculous how many times this tunnel forks as you're entering it, as you're moving it. It's not very far ahead. It's very windy. It forks, and it's very difficult to tell if you're heading down or up over any individual amount because there's so many kind of rises and falls in this tunnel as you're doing it.
Mostly if there's side chambers, I want to check for larva or, light or sound before I just blindly turn left. But assuming that there's nothing that stands out in the blackness or no sound, no smell, I'll just keep going.
Okay, so if you come across side chambers, of which you've already come across one already, and there are going to be many in this tunnel system, you're waiting for something unique from that before you explore them?
If it's a side chamber, we want to just shine a light in and see if it's a chamber.
Okay. That's the other point. Are you guys using torches for this right now?
Yeah, I have torch out.
I'm in front, so I am not. But he is close enough behind me so that it probably doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. How many of you guys are proficient for perception? Okay. Can you guys do that if you have perception? Will you roll for me?
What the hell's
Oh,
word
hey.
perception?
I meant to have insight. That's nice.
Oh yeah, I am. You said roll?
Yes, please.
Normal.
Correct.
Wow.
I did have to ask a question. How do I take the advantage, disadvantage off? I think I'm stuck on that.
Go over to your cog. And on your right side, where in that box that says NPC, and then 2.7. So you want to change that to query advantage or the toggle advantage.
Toggle gives you the buttons across the top, and you have to pick each time query asks you.
Yeah.
Got it, Joe?
No. Oh, I think I'm up here. Hang on. No, that wasn't right either. Where am I going? Sorry.
So the top of your character screen, or not the top, but where it says core BIOS spells, and then it's got the little cogwheel.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, click that cogwheel, and then on the right side near the top, it'll say NPC, where you can check a box, and then directly below that it says role queries.
Okay.
And you want to change that to either advantage toggle or query advantage. And then same thing. Yeah, it's probably not important. That's probably the only one that you need.
Sweet, thanks.
Yep. Okay. So am I going to get a couple more perception rolls? One more, it looks like, right? Oh, you're all
Yeah,
okay.
there we go.
All right. Well, Kevin and Sean don't see this, but or don't immediately notice it, but I'm sure you guys have pointed out to them. As you're kind of going a little bit deeper, you're maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes in now, you come across probably 6 tunnel forks at this point, even just 30 minutes in, and maybe 3 or 4 empty rooms of various sizes. And in addition to the path that you're on, the kind of forking tunnel, there also occasionally seems to be vertical shafts headed down in the center of the tunnel itself. You had to, up till now, kind of skirt around the edges to get by these, so that you don't fall into them as you're wandering down this tunnel. You kind of notice as you're doing this, as you're kind of eking your way forward, one of you notices that the tunnel, the surface of the tunnel, what the tunnel is made of, seems to be subtly changing as you're getting deeper. And it's no longer just the packed earth that it was in the rock and whatnot near the front of the tunnel, but it now seems to be a kind of sticky substance that's part of the tunnel. And it seems to be, if you push, well, I'll let you guys explore it. You've discovered a substance as part of the walls of the tunnel. Stone cutting roll again? Yeah, that'd be appropriate.
My friends, this is beginning to remind me of the innards of many of the creatures that are on death's door as I take them into the bosom of the goddess of moonlight.
Brad, you are 100% certain it is not stone.
It's not stone.
But
I'd like to taste it.
Can you taste it? Yeah, taste it if you want. Like, try to get a little bit out.
Yep.
Okay. It's how do I describe it? It's not solid like stone. It's more flexible than that, and it's kind of saturated into the soil a little bit. So what you're basically doing to taste it is you're basically peeling off a layer of it and then just chewing on it.
And it's good?
A bit acidic.
My friends, this is much like an esophagus. However, I believe it's being made by creatures and that we are not actually within another creature. I believe that probably we are dealing with some sort of infestation.
Well, where is it then?
It is down below waiting for us because it can tell that we are coming. Or it is eating Dan, and so it is not foraging right this minute. I am hoping that there's enough of Dan for me to examine him before they finish him.
What happens if I hold my torch up to this weird substance in the wall?
You're trying to burn it.
Mm-hmm.
Sizzles, hisses a little bit as it kind of as the fire interacts with it, but it doesn't seem to be particularly flammable.
Okay.
And not slippery particularly. It is firm.
It's firm. This kind of looks like it's been dried, maybe. The stuff here. So at the moment, what you're finding is kind of like a dry. It's almost like a glue when it's finished, and it's reinforcing the tunnel.
That is odd.
I can hit it with a hammer.
I believe that in a good rain, we could slide straight down into their hive.
I don't like this word hive. Why are we doing this again?
I have heard rumors about the reason we are here, and I refuse to participate in spreading those rumors any further.
These
However,
lies.
However, if there are rumors that you would like to share with me, I am content to hear them. Do not be afraid that they will go any further, though. You can tell. I don't share rumors. That's wrong.
I feel like you are telling me not to share rumors with you right now.
No.
But then
no,
you're asking me to.
No, I am happy to hear the rumors. I just would not. They would not go beyond this moment. They would not be spread anywhere.
I need to ponder on this for at least 7 or 8 more forks in the road.
That would be approximately 45 minutes. That's a good time.
Yes.
If you should die before those rumors were shared.
Resuscitate. Still resuscitate. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
You know, we are going to get exactly 7 more forks before the time is up, and we're
Absolutely.
I hope you weren't expecting us to encounter any creatures, because just like licking the walls is kind of par for the course, and
we did taste the walls.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, are any of you proficient in medicine or potentially investigation? Either of you, as you're doing this? Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
medicine.
Perfect. Well, I think I would like Steve to roll this one since he was the one putting it in his mouth, and he'd probably have the most in depth. Okay. Yeah. You're very certain it's not rock. And it's also organic.
Between your medicine roll and your stone cutting roll,
Yeah,
you are pretty well.
What's your character's name, Kevin?
You've triangulated this to not rock. Mine?
Yeah.
You can call me Reverend Zan.
Look at that,
Or
Reverend
just
Zan. You can learn a lot from putting things in your mouth.
I remember that.
I have heard this rumor as well.
And then
Can we?
Go on.
I was just going to say, I think we should probably move forward and look for any change in the weird, firm, organic substance.
All right, you guys continue moving down the tunnel. Still same setup. Yeah.
Yes.
And about 5 forks later, you see a room a little bit different than the previous rooms. As you shine a light in, stick the torch in. The previous rooms had been kind of empty. They'd just been dirt and rock. And this one seems to be very heavily coated in that organic substance that you'd seen previously. And moreover, there seems to be bones in this room.
Before we go in, it's been almost 7 forks. Have you reconsidered?
I counted 5 myself.
Yes,
so
right. We're approaching. But if you were to die in this room, we would not.
resuscitate.
Right.
Resuscitate.
All right. So anyway,
I think I found Dan.
Are they human bones?
No, they're not human bones.
I take back previous statement. This is not Dan.
Is there any way to tell how old the bones are? How long they've been?
Actually, I'm a Russian Baptist. For fuck's sake. Can't even get it anymore. You people.
What were you starting to say, Kevin?
I'm an expert in death. I can tell all kinds of things by examining bones. My whole order is about examining dead things, hanging out with dead things. Yeah,
Okay.
we are scientists of death. That's what our order does. So I would like to go look at these and make some suppositions, because I have seen bodies in every.
Okay. It looks like these remains are maybe about a week old, a little bit longer, and it's bones with basically been stripped of flesh. There's teeth marks on these bones in portions. And there's also a weird fracture pattern. So you see a rib, and the rib has been cracked. It looks like from the inside, basically, cracked out. And the bone is not solid anymore. There's not a whole piece of that anymore. The room is covered. They seem to be livestock, the remains of their herd animals that the village reported missing. There doesn't seem to be a large number in this room particularly, maybe 5 or 6, and they seem to be roughly the same age of decay, the same age. So most of these died around the same time.
I believe I have seen this play before. With ribs broken, creature pop out.
Did you guys do anything else in this room?
I'm gonna collect a couple of the more noteworthy examples of means of death, the twisted bones or the exploded from the inside out, or anything that is kind of more unusual than otherwise, I'm going to stick in my pack.
And I would like to check the room for shit. Literal shit.
Literal shit.
Yes.
Okay. Can you, both you and Kevin, both make me perception rolls, Sean? Okay, you are absolutely certain there's no shit in this room. And Kevin?
I clicked it and it's still asking me what I want to do.
Okay. You, in addition to finding some of these bones, as I said, cracked outwards, some of them chewed on, rather there's cracked and chewed on. There also seems to be some that are, the damage to the bone doesn't seem to be impact based. It doesn't seem like it was cracked or splintered or something like that. Just parts of it seem to have been worn down and kind of, it almost looks like, you've seen like driftwood, kind of that pattern of smooth and dissolved down, maybe. That's kind of how these bones look.
I am concerned that we are facing creatures that have an acidic nature.
Okay.
I'm also concerned there is something sneaking up on Steve because he seems very attentive. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's being jumped in real life, it looks like.
Right.
Okay.
I believe that we are, based on the fact that it tasted a little, what did he say, spicy or acidic maybe? I believe that between that and the wear patterns on this bone, we are facing creatures that have some sort of melting ability. Don't all jump in at once.
Melting creatures.
They would be spitting some sort of saliva that would dissolve us into putty. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. There are worse ways to die I could tell you about. In fact, earwigs. Earwigs are perhaps one of the worst ways to die.
That's incredible.
Well, it's not too bad until they make you crazy and you start eating your own hands.
Are there any very long earwigs anywhere? Perhaps an entire room with just an earwig. Just tell me about an earwig all day.
Why would you need a wig on your ear? Your ears don't have any hair.
Not everyone is blessed with your beautiful flowing locks.
So, moving on then, what do we do about the danger that we are facing?
We don't know that they're
I think
dangerous
we run
yet. They just seem to want to eat food.
Well, that is a good point. We should introduce ourselves immediately and see if we can convince them to eat other food.
I will convince them to not eat us if the time comes. I am very convincing. Can I convince you to let me try that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you were very convincing about that.
Yes, 10 out of 10.
I'm going to go back into the hallway and continue lefting.
Okay.
That's a perfect plan.
No poop. No poop.
No poops.
These are poopless creatures. They're
poopless.
Or
they don't shit where they eat. One or the other.
Yep.
And it's still the same setup? Okay.
Yep.
I've forgotten to do this. We need to do this as we go further. Two things. A, as we're moving around in zero light, even with dark vision, perception rolls need to be made at disadvantage. It's just how low light works with dark vision. And second,
we're not in low light though, because we're in torchlight. Or is torchlight still considered low light?
well,
I don't know how that interaction is.
that's where I'm going to just about to go. If you guys are standing with torches, isn't this like night vision related stuff? Anyone know how dark vision and night vision relate? I have a feeling if you're trying to rely on dark vision to see shit, and someone's got a torch behind you, right behind you,
so
you're probably having some.
We've had this conversation come up before, and there's not a mechanical thing for that in the
Good.
in the
Then I'll just roll and we'll move on. You're going to be rolling perception at disadvantage while you have
Okay.
those combinations.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
All right.
wait. So with torches, we roll at disadvantage, and without torches, we roll at disadvantage? Was that what you just said?
If you're within the torchlight, you can see your torchlight. Your torchlight is normal light. That's what torchlight does. So you're 20 foot around the torches is normal light. Anything outside of that, we're calling what you normally be using your dark vision with. We're going to call disadvantage out for now. Okay.
And
Great.
and if you are away from the torches and in the dark, it is still disadvantage.
Yeah, it's just how dark vision in full darkness. That's how that works. Yep. Okay. So more lefts. Probably 2 forks later. If you want to carry on that conversation, you're now 7 forks from the first time you mentioned 7 forks. Otherwise, we can keep moving.
I'm going to leave it up to him to.
I have thought about it. And I need more time. I am not ready.
All right.
I'll
Probably
come to you.
Probably at this point, you can tell you are slowly descending, despite the irregularities of these tunnels and the extreme kind of branching pattern of it. You still are getting slightly deeper over time. It also seems to be warming up slightly. You're moving from the Arctic, what do they call that? What is it called? The Arctic blast? What was it called? Whatever that was. The Arctic blast of Conwiskin. You're now moving deeper into
Polar vortex.
Polar vortex of Conwiskin. Thank you. You're now moving into the warmer bowels of the earth here, and the tunnels seem to be increasingly coated in this goo, this dried goo on the walls. And moreover, are any of you? How many of you are proficient in insight? Okay.
Yes, I am.
Oh, all of you?
Us?
Okay. Then
Wow, super redundant.
each of you individually, although you haven't mentioned it to anyone else yet, you're welcome to talk about it in a minute, but are starting to hear, it's almost at the, just out of range of your hearing. It almost sounds like a hum or maybe like a higher frequency whistle or something, when you can like hear the pressure or something that's not really in the range of hearing that you have. You're kind of starting to get that sense a little bit. And maybe initially it's just you're feeling a little jumpy in this cave as this tunnel as you're moving down, but it's now consistent enough that you're starting to kind of consciously take notice of that. So I don't know if you wish to discuss that or not, or we can just continue to move deeper into these caves.
My friends, I am beginning to have a buzz in my head, and I am concerned that if you have not also begun to have a buzz in your head, that perhaps I am being saturated by the poisons in this wall.
No, it's not the poisons. I can also feel this in my cranium.
I have been feeling something that is in my head as well.
Well, what a bunch
you
of
think-
weirdos. I feel just fine. Let's go find these spider things.
Are
Do
we
you
looking for spiders?
I was not expecting spiders exactly. I was expecting ants, really.
I did not bring my pesticide.
Okay.
Perhaps they are fleas. Do
Right.
fleas spit?
I have not seen a flea spit in my time.
I can honestly say I have also not seen flea spit.
So we
However,
can.
they do, in my towns, they do circus, but I think that is something.
You have fleas in your circus?
Oh, yes.
Circus fleas. It seems like small tent.
We are very small people, and it is something that we do to entertain us.
I need to spend more time in your perspective, and then I change my form to be halfling.
Okay.
Oh yes, you see now. That is very impressive.
I do not see fleas.
You must look much more careful.
I'm gonna walk off into the dark.
Okay.
At this point, one member of our party is above 3 feet tall, I believe.
This is great.
All right. As you get tired of this conversation behind you,
I turn around and say, "My little Oompa Loompa friends." Yeah, except now I'm German or something.
so you're like, Kevin, you're like maybe like 15 foot away from them, around another maybe 2 turns of this ridiculous branching corridor. And you think you spot something just out of the corner of your eye. You see some kind of movement that you're not entirely certain if you saw it or didn't see it. It's very dark, tough to see. Can you make me a perception roll?
That's my favorite thing.
Good.
That's a disadvantage?
Yep.
That is still pretty good.
It is still pretty good. All right. You see just for a second a flash of something. And I will just, I think I can show you. You see a handout now?
What?
Do you see a handout now?
Do I see a handout?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like purple? What?
No.
No. I'm
Something
sorry.
pop
Not a
up on your
character.
screen.
Do you see a handout now in the list of
Oh,
stuff that comes with the game? I don't know what they're called. Of
I think
handouts
there's
in the
some
character sheets.
button to pop it up for the people you've given it to as well.
in the
somewhere.
Yeah, there's
Can
literally a
be or
button that
something.
says,
Show to players, right?
yeah.
Not doing anything though?
Show to players is
I don't
make
think that's
it
it,
visible
though.
to them. There's a different button that makes
Ah,
it pop up on their screen.
okay. I think I can do it that way.
I believe in
All
it.
right.
There you go.
Yeah?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
You see
yeah,
just,
that is alien. All right.
you just see something a little bit like this in the darkness, just for an image, just for a second. And you're not still certain if you've seen it or not, but that's what you think you saw as you're moving down that tunnel.
So this one off is a social experiment and how long people will walk into a cave where they're clearly going to die because it's a one-off and they think that that's the thing they're meant to do.
Look, I can't say yes or no to that until much later in the campaign, or in the one-off rather.
10 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Closer to the end, like 10 minutes from now.
Like 9 hours from now, we'll still be going, and Filthy will be like, "You see 700."
So I've got to be done by like 5 a.m. because I've got a midterm, and so if this is gonna. All right.
Well, we
I'm
can turn
going,
around right now. Just saying.
I'm going to take a hasty step or two back and turn and look for my friends.
Okay. At the moment, they are around, as I said, a pretty sharp, like almost U-turn. So the light from their torches isn't really carrying around to where you are very well. So you're maybe a little more hidden than you might be otherwise if you were still with the group.
That's good. Then I'm going to shit.
Just right there in the hall.
Just I think it's the best way to hide my fear smell is I'm going to back toward my party and watch down the hall. And when I get to the edge of torchlight, I'm gonna motion them to stop and let them know that I saw something in the dark ahead of us.
Okay. Which of you has the highest wisdom score of the 4 of you?
I have 16.
I have 14.
Oh, that includes me when you say the 4 of you.
Yeah.
I have 12. I think I'm lowest.
Wisdom is 16.
Okay. The two of you, Steve and Kevin, both feel almost a pain kind of around the temples for a moment. It just staggers you for half a second, and then just back to that kind of low level hum. And that happens almost at the moment that you thought you saw that, Kevin.
But
Although Steve, of course, wouldn't
we're
have that connection.
separate. We don't see each
Yes.
other while this happens.
Correct.
Do you have any visible reaction to it that we can see?
Up to them.
Dum, 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 dum,
Um,
dum.
No.
I would cringe a little, but I'm way around a tunnel bend from you, and I would scrunch up my face and then come back toward you and my friends, it is a joyous day. We are under attack.
What?
I have just been psychically assaulted by a creature in the dark, and we are soon going to engage in bloodshed and bring death to one another and to other things in a glorious time.
These words you use, they're always so strange about battle.
We are headed into an adventure, my friends.
Yes, but we could also be headed into an adventure if we, like, dug for buried treasure or other things.
Death is the only great adventure, my friend.
Can I tell you a secret?
I can think of one other great adventure.
Does it also include death?
Oh,
Only
I
the
believe your
petite
people
death.
call it the little death, yes.
Yes.
Is that because I am short?
You'll find out when you're older.
Your
But I'm
little,
already an adult.
your little death is coming soon, my friend. I would be grateful to hear a secret, my friend. What is it?
The moment is best. I have also decided that being small is not for me, and I change back into my normal tall self.
Okay. So you've come back around the corridor and told them that you've been psychically assaulted, expressed your love of dying, and what are you guys doing?
Is there enough room to spread out at all? I guess I would ask, where are they coming from? How are we going to engage? Those sorts of questions.
Okay. At this point in the tunnel, as I said, it's corridors everywhere. It's basically at this point flattened out a bit into an oval. It's now taller than it is wide. It's still about 6 foot wide, maybe like 9 foot tall in this tunnel, this portion of it. The walls are fairly covered in this coating. And other than that, it's just protrusions. There's a lot of kind of boulders, and they're not even really boulders. They're almost like cones in the middle, sides, etc. Clearly not entirely natural. You maybe would see something like this in a much larger cave, but this small of a tunnel and a tunnel that's been dug out, they're clearly intended to be there. It's not just the results of earth being moved out. But other than that, no, not really. It's about 6 foot wide.
I would like to take a second torch out and light it off of the first torch, and then shove the first torch into the wall, not like putting it out like the stick side. So
Okay.
I actually stick it into the wall.
Okay.
And then I want to walk about 20 feet away and stick that one in, and then light a third torch to carry. So that we've got about what is that?
40 foot. Oh, you have the
you got 20, 20 and
either
20,
side.
so 60.
Sure,
of
except
light.
it's not a straight line. So you're
Sure.
doing this around like okay. But
Sure.
I got the rough idea that for the passage that you've come from and the passage you're in is now lit in this area of like 20 segments, so 60 total, right?
And then as I plant that last one and light the third one, I scurry back to the group as quick as I can because I don't want to be out by myself.
Okay. All right, and I think this is probably a good time to take a little break and then come back for the next part.
Sure.
All right, cool.